Hey you guys, it is William calling from wiwibloggs, and Belgium Eurosong 2025 has come to an end, and the red hot favorite Red Sebastian has won in a landslide. 423 points overall. Second place only managed 144. If you look at the jury vote, Red Sebastian had twice as many points as the runner-up there, Montisa. In the public vote, what is that? More than 4 times as many points. So this is a clear win. Dabon!
Hey you guys! Hey William!
Should we watch the national final performance and react?
Let's do this!
Now, if you've been following the betting odds, then you know that Belgium has been the big favorite to win Eurovision 2025 for several weeks, and clearly bookies were banking on Red Sebastian, the domestic favorite, in their calculation. They still think that Red Sebastian can do this. We're gonna listen right now. All right, hitting play.
Wow.
The mood is immediate.
My man's had a haircut. Sharper eyeliner.
It's sensual and of the night. Bam. Oh, a tower. A techno tower. Okay.
Oh. He's on a plane.
Ready for the Polar
but
Festival.
There's real confidence here.
Shout out to Alice in Wonderland.
Sounds like the sort of music I'll hear at a Berlin underground club. Like in a basement, in a dungeon.
I'm not sure if the movement is very easy for Sebastian. It's not very vigorous. Great set though. Great set. Ooh, working the falsetto. This is Colleen on illegal substances.
The colors are so Netflix. It really is.
Oh wow. This is... Okay.
The camera work is a lot sharper now.
I want more confidence. He feels nervous to me.
It's a lot of red.
Which would be understandable.
If you like red, you're gonna love this.
There's a lot of strobe, so I'm slightly... It's called Strobe Lights. I like the drive, the production. Okay, coming into your own. Coming into their own. This is the power. This is the confidence.
Wow.
Oh, hey, y'all. Hey, where is this club? I feel like I can see Sebastian thinking.
Wow, dancers.
There's the freedom. That's the freedom. Right there. Oh, this is too dizzying.
I wonder if you can pre-record that moment and just have him lip sync to it.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
This is a lot. This is very interesting. When did they lower? Was that lowering the entire time? I didn't even notice. Amid all the strobes and flashes, I didn't realize they had descended. Just a few thoughts. My cat is at the door, is the first. Sweetheart, anyone come in? I feel like this performance should come with a trigger warning. If you're sensitive to strobes and to lights, it really is a lot to take in. But leaving that to the side, I think it has great production. This is rave techno. This is Kaline's We Will Rave turned up several dials. This is the Berghain Berlin version of Kaline's Austrian techno adventure. If you followed that, then you are a woman or a man of my own heart. This is a lot to take in, is what I'm trying to say. I think that all the strobe lights, all the flashing, is sort of masking, I don't want to say difficulties with dancing, but dancing that's not so fluid, dancing that's not coming naturally. Sort of the motions often feel like Loreen light, like it's trying to do Loreen 2012 choreo artistry, but there's not the sort of confidence behind it or the push. That can be corrected over time, rehearsal, more live performances, getting more comfortable on the stage. I do think that will come because the feeling I'm getting is that there were major nerves. Sebastian was filled with nerves, but as the performance went on, Sebastian really grew into his own. And when that big note came, they were there. Sebastian was there. Red was all over the screen. So yes, all of that will be worked out. But I guess in those moments where I sensed sort of a lack of vigor or almost like, I don't want to say lethargy, but just limp dancing. Like it wasn't like solid. I think in those moments I was like, ooh, so you really have to deliver this on. You need to be on to deliver this song because this song is hard driving. This song is go, go, go from the beginning. This song is boom. And if you're not matching that energy, the misalignment makes it difficult to really sort of, get into it.
Can that vocal be placed on the backing track? I wonder. Sepe Harmon, he's, he performs the hell out of Strobe Lights. But I have to say, even in the small field of, 8 entries in Belgium? It was not the strongest song, right? This is visually arresting, no doubt, and it's really well thought out. But the base product is distinctly unmemorable. I can sing almost all the songs in Belgium, bar one, I think. Strobe Lights is also one of the ones that I really struggle to recall. It doesn't have the immediacy of Désolé or Monster, some of the other songs that I felt that, melody-wise, just had a lot more going for it. This is just that techno beat, like, Strobe Lights, da 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 da. I can't even come up with the lyrics here. Right, well, but he's a great performer and he's been performing for a long time. At the age of 14, he was on Belgium's Got Talent and, he's remained in the public eye for a very long time, throwing down these electrifying performances. He's good. And it's interesting, actually. He's very close to Gustav, who, again, Eurovision connection. So this has been in the atmosphere for a long time. His album which was released in 2021, had a few amazing tracks on it. But all that is filler at this point because what we're really talking about is Strobe Light. I don't think I think this depends on a number of factors to really wow in Basel. In its current form, it just seems to be missing a key ingredient for me. But part of this could be because I've seen it before. It improves here, definitely. There's an improvement from my last review. But it really doesn't hold that much surprise anymore for me. And I think the strength of this may be in just seeing it once and just be like, oh wow, that Belgian guy in red, pick up the phone and let's vote. Watching it second time round and also having the songs on loop now for about a week, it doesn't leap out as an audio file.
I think Belgium's done a great job with staging. Having Eurosong 2025 for them, it seems particularly important because we know that their staging at Eurovision is frequently just off. They'll have incredible songs. Look at Cynic. Musti could have done more, but there was no staging. There was no staging. It just felt empty. Elliot, again, this pattern of lackluster staging. Whereas this is giving me more like the Laura Tesoro end, right? Like the sleigh staging. This is giving me sort of, actually, Hooverphonic, they had nice staging. That was very moody. It worked with that song. Cut a long story short, I think this is a great blueprint to have going into Basel. It'll look even better on a mega stage. I personally am not a fan of so many strobe lights. I just feel like it gives one a headache. That's not because it's bad or it's unartistic. It's just, it's so much. And some people are very sensitive to that. To cut a long story short, I think this is an exciting entry. I think it's very, very exciting. And I think they can work with this. I just want to feel that Red Sebastian, I don't know, believes in himself, is more, I just wasn't getting that uber confidence. Some Nutsa Butsaladze from Georgia. When that diva stepped on the stage, you knew she believed in herself. Whereas with this, I was like, well, I couldn't see very much as a starting point because it's very, very dark. I think a bit more light might help. But I wasn't getting that kind of diva confidence. And I know not all songs require a diva, but I think this, a hard-hitting song, actually does. You don't turn up in the back alley all timid. You gotta go there with confidence, believing in yourself. Lyrically, what's going on? Strobe lights, getting lost in your eyes, cotton candy haze, we're floating up in space, falling where up is down, screaming but won't make a sound. Alice, show me your hand, take it to Wonderland. This is very Wonderland Music Festival, isn't it? Step into the mirror to bright new dimensions where no words are needed to feel the connection, where clocks never tick and where love is the ending. Come down through the looking glass. Okay, maybe Red Sebastian is seeing red for love, that feeling you get, the instant attraction, a different land, fantasy, fantasia via Brussels. This ain't the white party, this party is red.
You know, and the thing is, you know, this kind of rave culture of the 90s, which is sort of making a comeback. I mean, Austria's Carlene with Will We Rave is one, you know, it's in the same family of songs. You know, despite the heavy promotion on that didn't do so amazingly, right? It qualified, yes, but people were sort of expecting a top 5 finish. It didn't get that. That is much stronger than this. And the thing about these songs is that I just don't think they're suited to 3-minute formats. Usually rave songs are extended versions of instrumental tracks with the sprinkling of a few vocal flourishes on it, just giving it that added lift. But to get that high in the club, you need to have been hearing this on a loop for like 12 minutes, and then is where I wanna stay. You know, that then just belts on the track, which is already running for nearly 15 minutes. You know, when you cut it into 3 minutes, it's just too tight to give you that immersive feel. But all in all, I mean, this is a good choice for Belgium. I mean, it's a very respectable, different kind of song. It's a song to get behind, but I think that it's much more a song that calls for your support than a song that you're pitching for victory, if you know what I mean. Do you see what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of a country that sends songs all the time, and these songs are amazing songs. They don't always get the outcome or the results that you hope for, but you know, they're not songs to be ashamed about. They're not songs to cause any kind of embarrassment. I think this is what Red Sebastian does here with Strobe Lights. Yeah, it's a respectable submission, but it's, yeah. I think have more faith in the song than what the song will achieve or do for you. I think that's the vibe that I'm feeling here.
Also, I think maybe the mixing of the backing vocal and the main vocal at a certain point towards the end, I wasn't convinced, like, it just didn't feel mixed. It felt like two very separate voices, and you could hear that. And when you, particularly in the earlier video from the first Eurosong, if you don't get that mixing right, it's just a bit awkward. I think Red Sebastian did a good job hitting those big notes. I do remember at one of the performances, I can't remember if it was the studio preview or this one just now, where that high note can be a bit shrieky. But the night of, it seems that he delivered. All right, I want to read some comments on the wiwibloggs website. This is Robert. Robert asks, is this really worth first place in the betting odds? And Mark Dowd has another comment, another Musti, referring clearly to Musti being overhyped by the bookies. Oh, and then there's another comment in a similar vein. Saimi says, why are so many people impressed with mediocrity? So I won't call this mediocre. I think the stage scene, the melody, the production, the thrust, that is all exciting. But I think it's not yet arrived at its final destination. I think that if Red Sebastian can crank up the self-belief, then he will fill the role. This song requires a very particular confidence, which I'm not getting. Again, I'm just repeating that because that's a thing that stands out to me. I do feel that this is slightly overhyped in terms of the betting odds. But again, we only have 7 songs. It's so early in the season. The bookies have to hype something. That's how they make money. They convince people to make bets, and then they change the odds later. They switch horses. But I do think this has a very good chance at qualifying because it's gonna stand out. Like the color scheme, the high notes. Belgium really upped the staging with Gustav a few years ago. I remember thinking it was good, but then at the actual Eurovision, they really brought it. But I do slightly feel that this is overhyped. I'm So Fab says, not my cup of tea, honestly. However, he will 100% qualify. DDE says, third listen, no, it doesn't grow on me. And those low notes vocals, Amigo says, this will be on the left side, probably in the top 5. Just because you don't like it does not mean you are being realistic. You know, this is fair. We should not take comments personally. People have different tastes. I do think Kalin's We Will Rave is a useful comparison. While obviously this is darker and one might say much edgier than that, Kalin did not climb the scoreboard. Kalin did not reach sort of the fan hype. And that's because maybe niche fan taste doesn't always reflect the mainstream voting audience. Because let's face it, this song is a bit more hardcore than what you're going to typically hear on a top 40 radio station. But that's also the opportunity, actually. By going against the predictable, you could come out on top. Tino says, woke up and still very happy with our choice. People in here always say that every country should bring culture to the contest, and this is actually what we're doing. Belgium is known for its electro music, and it's finally time for us to try it on Eurovision. Again, not pretending we're gonna win, because I don't think it's gonna happen, but I can really see this in the top 10 and maybe even not far from the 5th place. I don't see the juries burying this, and it is vocally very good, and the staging can have a huge impact. May I recall that the impact of a performance is one of the criteria that juries have to evaluate. And this is a very good point. You know, people on juries are not just vocal coaches. They're not just songwriters. They're often stage directors, choreographers. Sometimes they're literally bureaucrats who work at a broadcaster, and they're not necessarily music experts, staging experts, or choreographers. They are bureaucrats, but they happen to work in TV. So you have lots of different types of people voting. Vigo says, I genuinely feel like the community is playing a prank on me because how is anyone hating on this? It is vocally perfect, captivating, contemporary, upbeat. It's a very solid package and will do very well in Eurovision. Thor Beta says, Red Sebastian got around 50% of the televoting, by the way, and won the jury vote with a big margin too, usually a good sign if Gaia and Baby Lasagna proved anything by landsliding their national finals. And Stig Carlson Fan Club says, I sense huge potential here. If the code could come 5th with the public and still win Eurovision, so can this. The odds might be inflated, but the juries could appreciate this. It's hard to tell, but certainly I think this is my favorite Belgian entry in a while. Well done, Sebastian. And taking that risk is a great thing. I think sending something daring, sending something out there, sending something different, that's an incredible feat to get a whole nation believing in your product when it is so different. And so yeah, why not take the risk? With risk can come reward. I ultimately think this will come down to Red Sebastian himself. Belgian TV has clearly put a lot of thought into the staging. Now it's up to Red Sebastian to give us that red, to give us the fire, and to give us the vocal. Because it seems like a tricky song to sing, so it could go either way, right? Have a bad night, whoosh, slay the vocal that night, bing! Yeah, so we're gonna have to wait and see. All right, well, that's what we think. What do you think? Is Red Sebastian a clear qualifier, a borderline qualifier, or a non-qualifier? Let us know your early thoughts here on wiwibloggs.
Well, is red the color of your mood board? Wow, while you try figuring that out, follow wiwibloggs on Pinterest and we will see you later.
And we'll see you later.
Bye.